Yes, sir.
What's the biggest misperception about you and about Smashing Pumpkins?
Try to keep it simple, but the band circa 89, going into 90, because of the politics in the world that we lived in Chicago, and then ultimately the politics that we faced in New York, and then London, and we quickly figured out that our brand of music and who we were as people didn't jive with alternative culture, which was strange to us because outside of maybe Jimmy, because he was more kind of coming from a classic rock world and didn't know much about alternative music. But for James, Darcy, and I, we were alternative people. We lived like alternative people. We went to all the shows. We listened. But for whatever reason, that culture said, you're not this enough. You're not cool enough. You're not blah, blah, blah enough. And then by extension, then our music got the same label. I mean, this is like 89, 2 years before Fish. So our reaction internally was to start playing this weird game where we were like, okay, if you think we're like that, we're going to be more like that. Or if you think that we're dumb, we're going to play real dumb. You know, it's what Muhammad Ali used to call rope-a-dope, right? The famous fight where he pretends he's all out, so the guy keeps punching him, and he retains his strength, and then when he's ready, he throws the... So we just started playing rope-a-dope. And strangely enough, it became part of our identity. I'm sure I was the main driver in that, but I mean, I was supported in that in the group. You can go back and watch the way we dealt with MTV interviews. I mean, we would never come at stuff straight. If you look at interviews from bands from like 1993 and look at ours, I mean, we were playing head games with people, and they were so confused because in their minds, take your typical MTV journalist, right? They come to the backstage and, you know, how's it going on tour, and you know what I mean? And we would be saying stuff like we would totally lie, we would make stuff up, like. James would throw up a softball of a lie, and then Jimmy would be like, "Oh yeah, totally," and you'd see the person kind of going like, because no one would ever, because everyone was so eager to be on MTV, they would either play one of two roles, you know, gee, we love it, you know, or they like, we don't care, you know. We play this other thing, and these people didn't understand. So it took really, really sophisticated fans, and there were fans who got the joke, who were in on the joke, and they would pull us aside. So the thing that we didn't, you know, understand, and where we lacked sophistication was that stuff follows you. You know, it's like if it's your buddy and he plays a joke on you all night, he keeps, you know, in wrestling call it a rib, right? He tells you like, I don't know, your cat died or something, like you're crying and then at the end you're like, no, I'm just kidding, you know, your cat's okay, oh my god, I'm gonna kill you, right? When we finally came up for air and started telling people we were joking, they were like, no, you're not. We're like, no, we're kidding. Like, no, you're not. So we're like, okay, so we just kept doing it more. And that's the whole, if you ever want to investigate it, that was the whole machine thing, was to blow it, because, okay, first of all, I knew the band was ending. So when we sat down and talked about it, I said, right, how are we going to go out? We're going to go out in a crazy blaze of glory. It got worse than I thought it was, but the point was, we made this decision that if we're going to go out, we're going to go out as weird as possible. So we just doubled down on the weirdness, to where I don't think it's much of a secret. At one point, Dave Grohl was dating Melissa Offenbach. Does anybody know that? Is that public knowledge? Right? That's not super secret, right? So Dave was on tour with us at various times. Like he was like an extra member of the band and you know, he was with her as a relationship. It's fine. So Dave would oftentimes sit on Jimmy's drum riser because he just loved Jimmy's playing, and they had that crazy drummer, you know, thing. Dave's a great drummer, I mean, incredible drummer. And I remember one show, and if you ever listen to the version of Bullet with Butterfly Wings, we were playing on the Machine Tour, it was completely upside down. Like I changed all the melodies. I mean, and again, this is 4 years after it's a hit song. So it's not like it's 15 years, 4 years. The audience is there to hear the song, and we're playing this completely wrong version, like it's so messed up, and the lyrics are all different and everything. And I remember coming off stage one time, I think maybe we played as an encore, and I came through and I'm laughing or whatever, and Dave looks at me and goes, "That's so wrong. That's so wrong what you're doing." And I'm like, what? He goes, come on, man, this is so wrong. He couldn't understand it, because Dave's a different type of personality, And I think he's great at engaging people at that level. He wants that excitement. Where we always looked at that and was like, we're going to take that, we're going to twist it around and punch it right back. It's not violence in the literal sense. It's a different kind of violence, more along the lines of an Andy Warhol or Francis Bacon, where you're finding energy where it shouldn't be. And by causing that disturbance, this other thing happens. And so to answer your question in a very long-winded way, people don't understand that in essence the band was performance art the whole time. And so in the constructs, in the cracks, there's a real heart there, and you hear it in the music. So that's why it's so confusing to people is, how does the same sweet band that made Siamese Dream and songs like Mayonnaise, how is that guy like railing into my head? I don't get it. They couldn't put those pieces together. But they didn't understand that we were using that to back up all the motherfuckers off of us. Because we wanted the real people to come forward and have a real experience with us, as opposed to playing to a general crowd that can only be placated by mediocrity. Hit songs, and so that's why when we came back in 2000, we were like, right, we're just going to go right back into that, that's what we do. And the audience was like, no, we want the Greatest Hits band. And we're like, when were we ever that band? And everybody got amnesia, and then we were troops. And so all that did was make it worse again, and we had to start this whole thing all over again. So now we're just a band. Now we just play music. We pretty much pushed all the artistic stuff to the side. Now we just play music, and suddenly everybody likes us again, as if we were never that band to begin with. We were always that band in the inside. So it's hard to explain, but I love the question, so thank you for asking me. Anyone else? That's it?